We've already seen our teams out on stage, but now we want to welcome them to the stage. We want to bring them out, put them in those booths, and of course, we're going to start with our very first team, Extreme Gaming.
And we're back.
Extreme Gaming!
And we're back.
Our only undefeated team coming out of the road to the international playoffs. 4-0 series wins here. The uncrowned king leading his team to the booth. One of the longest game lengths we've seen at a TI as well. Will they change? Was the 4-day break in their favor or against it? The biggest questions are still up for grabs. And the biggest thing that I really want to know is their opponent also ready to take the stage?
Choose wisely and crush those responsible. Tundra Esports. Choose wisely and crush those responsible.
From being moments away of elimination just a couple of days ago, it brings the question, what has changed for them? A massive stand-in for themselves in that position 5, with Kobe now joining this squad, and the sole potential 3-time TI winner there in 33. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot these players are having to live up to, and so I have to ask my panel here just exactly where we can put our expectations and our predictions for Extreme Gaming up against Tundra.
This one is not easy. I feel like Extreme Gaming has shown that they played the best Dota so far this year, but also Tundra, they should not be underestimated. Even though they don't have, you did say that he is the best 5 in the world. Whitemon is not here, but he filled the shoes really well. Toby is playing really good Dota, and you have 33. One of the greatest, if not the greatest mind of Dota that we ever had, because this guy is going to try to break the game. We saw it during TI 2022 when they won it with Tundra, the right back. Now we're seeing the same thing with potentially this Helm of the Dominator strat that they've been running very successfully with this BZM Invoker that they did win every single game. He builds into Helm, he builds into Drum's Alacrity, then you have another Helm from the offlane, plus potentially a pipe, and they know how to close out the games quickly.
If there's any player that I really trust when it comes to like breaking down
It's this guy.
his own team and like how strong they are in the current meta, it's 33. You know, he has said that they, in the past few patches, they've kind of struggled to find an identity, and they didn't perform as well as what we just saw on the screen there in their hugely dominant first year. But in this tournament, it looks like they have found an identity. They're picking SK again. They're picking Earthshaker mid. I feel like this team is really successful when they have scaling heroes, when they're able to pick scaling heroes on all of their cores. And it's because they're a bunch of specialty players, right? You have the BZM Invoker that we just talked about. They've got Crystallis on all of his level 30 Dota plus carries. Like, if they can play a meta where all of the roles can scale, then they can pick the best hero in the best position and then give that to the scaling player and then win the game through that way. So I think the meta really favors Tundra right now, and I think they know it as well.
Yeah, and if you're comparing the matchups, like XG is a little bit slower than Tundra. I think Tundra is really good at hitting specific timings with their heroes, and using the Helm of Dominator, I think they are probably going to be able to try to stop the game from going too long, where it enters Extreme Gaming's territory, and I think they have a really, really good shot here at doing that in the current meta and how everything is really revolving around the Helm of Dom and the auras right now.
Yeah, I think another strength for them as well as we talk about, the fact that Toby's standing in, they just kind of have to find that flow for themselves. It's a little bit of a change up, but this is technically the 5th new player they've had on their roster since last TI, right? There's been a lot of changes, a lot of iterations, and I think a lot of the time that actually favors Tundra quite a lot. It keeps a lot of things fresh for them. I think it's a lot of effort and a lot of stress though on their coach Moon, where we haven't really turned eyes to yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I remember when Dyrachyo was playing with Tundra, and my first thought was like, how is this going to work? Dyrachyo's crazy, man. That kid is nuts. Playing with 33, one of the most calm, cool, collected guys. And then seeing them together, it's like the jokes that 33 was making with Dyrachyo, they're not PG. I can't even say them here, And it's like he switches his personality to make his players comfortable. Like, genuinely, I know we always talk about 33 as like one of the greatest minds of all time, one of the greatest offlaners of all time, but he's also one of the greatest captains of all time, like integrating players into the team. So I think if there's any team that's going to win with the stand-in, it's either Liquid, they're out, or Tundra.
What about Extreme Gaming? They have a stand-in too. X-Nova, I think a lot of people are kind of glossing over that right now. He did play with them in their previous tournament, which was a whole month ago, but he was a stand-in there. So right now, we're seeing this team going undefeated winter, and then we're also forgetting that they do have a new player on their roster too.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, X-Nova, he's not like a new guy, for them. They've played together before. And on top of that, I felt like the synergy that he has with Army is probably better than when Army was playing with Poloson, because they're both very different players. X-Nova is very, I think, more defensive, like in a way where he protects the core a lot more. So you see a lot more smoke tanks. He's really just trying to make sure Army can farm. Whereas when they were playing with Poloson, they were playing more for the kills and trying to attack the enemy more. It's
like Marana every game, like that sort of thing. Like distracting on the other side of the map and then making space for Army, which sometimes doesn't work.
That kind of feels better, for the Army's playstyle to work, where you're just sitting back and just waiting for your timings.
So you think he's hitting timings better because of this slight change up in which position 5 he's leaning?
I don't think position 5 is a slight change up. Out of all the 5 roles, I think if you were to have a stand-in to swap a role, and it's easy to adjust, is the mid lane, because you don't have to interact with your side lane, your duo. I think when you change a duo, it takes time to get used to the other person. The other person has different habits. You have to learn it. The way he speaks is different. So there are a lot of things that comes into play.
You said that Tundra did change a lot of players throughout the year, but one thing they didn't change is the offlane duo. Like, this is the stable for a good reason, and whenever we talk about the offlane duos, this duo comes to mind to a lot of people because they have been so stable throughout the years as well. Saksa and 33, I don't think it gets better than this. When you're laning against them, this might be the most difficult duo in Dota to lane against, because they will always try to find something, try to break the game. If you're playing into unfavorable matchup, you will find a way how to play it.
Exactly. I mean, look at these top 3 offlane combos, right? Like, a lot of these heroes are gimmicky. They will find farm in some way. 33 playing Darkseer farming stacks, Sand King farming stacks. These are all stack farmers, essentially. And I totally agree. I think the most annoying thing about playing against 33 and Saksa is that even if they have a bad lane, like heroes that are not good at laning together, they still find some way to farm by cutting creep waves, putting a sentry ward in the tier 2 to aggro the first wave of creeps so they get a lane advantage. There's always some sort of trick that they can pull out to get a good lane.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention as well, I think for the draft and for the overall strategy, a lot of the plays start on your offlaner, right? If your offlaner gets a really good start, it becomes very easy to play the map because your carry will just gate and gank, the lanes pushing, the Karti's coming in, you take the tower, everything feels natural, right? So I think a lot of the game starts from the offlane, so you have to really have like a foundation of the draft and strategy based on your offlaner. That's why they don't want to change things too much in that regard.
Yep, and he's very familiar with building Helm of the Dominator / Overlord. Even on the heroes when it was not popular, he was always playing like these micro heroes, his Visages, his Broodmothers, Lycans, Beastmasters, and I gotta say, I've been very impressed with his Doom as well, because he's building it the Helm of the Dominator as well. And this is the word that we're going to be saying quite a lot, because this is something that is kind of OP right now. It is a bit imba, but you do go for another aura, and then you get an aura, you eat the creep, so you have 2 auras, and then you can get maybe a pipe from the offlaner as well if necessary.
I mean, the thing is, you call him an offlaner, but is he an offlaner? He just feels like another carry in the game.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, Dota is just so different right now. There's like just side laners and mid laners, and even the supports feel kind of similar in what you actually do. There's like no specific role for the 4 and 5. You just do what it feels right in the game. You know, you build items if you need to build items. It's no longer like, oh, you're position 5, you're not allowed to farm. This is your quota for the game, and you can't exceed it, you know.
I mean, especially with the games going the length that we're seeing it, right? I feel like this average of 55 minutes, you almost want your support to start looking towards that later game for themselves.
You have the license to farm, basically.
Yeah, you want some sort of scaling plan.
Yes.
Something to
in one of the supports.
Something to get to the late game and then to actually use the fact that you're in the late game. I would like to propose, we've talked a lot about the side lanes. I would like to propose we go to the mid because...
I'll let you do that.
It's a formal proposal.
When it's more important, because right now the thing that is important for us is the fact we are getting our very first TI Series Game 1 draft.
Extreme Gaming versus Tundra Esports Game 1.
Let's see what these teams have been brewing over the last few days. If we're going to see a shift in what is popular, what works winter, and just exactly if the teams want to start changing up their priority for pick order, where we feel the importance on that is.
Yeah, talking about pick order, I kind of feel like it's easier to be on the first pick side because of the overall, I think even in the first phase, the bans, because you have the last ban and you go into your first pick, I think that's kind of nice to have. And obviously also the 18th pick, which helps you decide your overall strategy. I kind of like to be on the first pick side more because nowadays teams are really good at banning out heroes that are really good for you. So you rarely see like, oh, that's a really good 24th pick, overall last pick that actually just going to win them the game,
And something to touch upon is you talked about the games going long. You want to have this position 5 that really scales well into the late game. There's this one guy, one hero that is the most picked hero of the tournament, and that's Disruptor. He has the most amazing Aghanim Scepter upgrade in the game, which can turn the whole game around. So that's why we're seeing it being picked so much, because once you get to that timing, you always know that you have some kind of a play that can turn the whole fight around.
Oh, there you go. That's the first Helm hero here. Right now, Beastmaster. Very, very oppressive hero if you give him a good lane.
This does leave Nature's Prophet in the pool. There's some very strong heroes that are still left in.
I mean, you're definitely thinking about...
Monkey King is also there.
The lane, I think you want to give Beastmaster a hard time, when you open up the draft with Beast, you definitely want to at least consider slowing him down for the start so that his aura items come up slower.
Is this Beastmaster more straightforward for a team of Extreme Gaming? Because we know others are willing to flex it between that mid or that off lane. Does that archetype also fit to them?
Probably not so much, I think, for Extreme. I think to them it's mostly going to be
the off lane?
Yeah, the off lane hero. Whereas right now we are seeing this Lycan and Beastmaster. I mean, the story of the tournament, right? All the Helm heroes coming out early, and you're going to have to deal with it. I mean, this is definitely going to be one interesting game, so Battle of the Helms.
Both teams have picked the Helm hero. Now both teams need to pick the counter to the Helm hero. You need both.
Or do you just go, as long as we have more Helm heroes than them, we'll win?
I mean, it's also the supports, right? You see the opening picks, and you're definitely thinking what supports works well with Beast, what enables the Beast, and what enables the Lycans, because both sides are probably going to be looking at similar heroes to pick for the laning phase, and this is going to be an interesting one. Like, what do you ban out? And with Tundra coming out to pick first in the next phase, they're going to have the upper hand in picking the support they want.
I really like the Pugna Beastmaster matchup. I feel like even if Beast does end up going for the Aghanim Scepter build, like decrepping and healing the hero who gets roared is always a very good counter, and this is a hero that Toby has been playing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like a hero like Wyvern, which didn't really get picked much. I was kind of surprised that the hero didn't get a lot of spotlight, because it seems like
it's definitely good.
It's good now, right?
It's a strong hero. With the recursive facet, I see a lot of... Or actually,
even with the other
one.
Yeah, even with the defensive one on the towers, I think...
Healing the towers, yeah.
Yeah, that is also a really good option, because it gives your core damage, when you come out of the core embrace.
Yeah.
Supports don't really like to play, I would say, in this meta. No, especially after seeing two of the openers. You have Beastmaster with all the summons. You have Lycan as well. you got to be building into defensive. Like, you got to start thinking about, I think Pugna is a really good suggestion kind of for both teams. But Lycan, he also builds into relatively early nullifiers, so it makes it almost impossible for supports to play the game. This is why this hero is so aggressive. He has a really good timings as well.
Yeah, that's why it's really important to pick a good lane matchup into the Lycan. You really need to slow him down as much as you can, and SD is the first one that comes out. Really good counter towards the Beast, you can save the Raw, and he's also one of those heroes where he can kind of defend the tower against the Helm because you can wave shove. And wave shove is also something that's really, really important if you're playing support nowadays, because if you can't wave shove, you're talking about the game going long and you can't farm and you can't scale. And this is one of the better scaling supports, if not the best scaling supports in the game right now.
Why is it one of the best?
Yeah, because of the Axe and because of the BKB piercing disable. Like, if you're a carry, right, and you see SD, you're like, oh, I can't play Lifestealer, I can't play Ursa, you can, but it's going to be very hard.
Ah, there's the Wyvern.
Yeah, there we go. Winter Wyvern here. It's a very, very good hero against the Lycan. I mean, for obvious reasons, you counter him with the ulti, you counter with the Cold Embrace. Nullifier doesn't work against the Cold Embrace. Interested to see which facet actually he goes for. I would probably prefer the defensive one more.
I mean, I will say it's not a totally free Wyvern game, though. SD, you can save from Wyvern ulti.
Yep.
But I think the reason that Extreme is picking it is not necessarily just for the Winter Wyvern ult. It's, like you guys mentioned, it's for the heal and the save, right?
You defend the towers as well.
Yeah, just delaying kills a little bit by preventing the physical damage, and then also delaying the tower push that Lycan is inevitably going to bring against you.
You know, one of the biggest counters to Wyvern is a hero we haven't really seen, I think, Skyrath. Cold Embrace and you put your ulti on top.
That hero's legitimately
okay.
good.
Yeah, he's in an okay spot. I think any kind of magic damage that's going to be coming out from Tundra is going to be really good. Both of the teams don't really have, I would say, that much control, especially on the side of Tundra. Lycan, Shadow Demon, these heroes are relatively easily exploited. So far, we haven't seen the big hero pool from XM. We have seen only 4 heroes with Storm Spirit, Leshrac, Shadow Fiend, and Puck. Puck has been banned, but anything elusive could really work out for them. For now, this Tiny, he can go anywhere. He can go mid, he can go to position 4 lane with the Beastmaster. It's an okay lane. It's not like super strong, but it gives Beastmaster a stun in the lane as well.
I do want to go back quickly to the Winter Wyvern for you. The one time that had been picked so far here, they went for the Winterproof facet, which is the Cold Embrace one.
Yeah, the defensive one. I think it's actually kind of better, at least for me, when I play that hero. I feel like it's...
Oh, of course you take Winterproof.
Yeah, haha, of course. And here we go, Storm. This is one of the better heroes against the Wyvern because you can find him when he's flying around the trees.
I think they were also going to get stormed as well. XG wanted Storm, so Tundra's also picking it to...
The 16-17 pick is the most, I think, difficult part of the draft for the second pick because you are already considering what heroes are going to be picked at 18 because 18 is really good for the first pick side, and so you have to be prepared for that. So most of the times, like Andrew said, you try to pick a hero that also blocks their hero.
Yeah, and I like if you're picking Storm, I like Silencer Storm when you're picking in a difficult situation like this because all the heroes that get countered or that counter Storm get countered by Silencer. So like this is usually how teams try to operate in this situation. Like you know that you're going to get the Storm countered, right? So you need to pick something which counters those counters.
Do you think that's something that's leading into Storm not really having a good win rate right now? It's only sitting at 35% in this tournament.
Maybe. I think some teams are good at like picking these heroes and knowing how to play the heroes which counter. Instead, they go for the Warlock, more of like a teamfight hero. It's very strong against a Beastmaster in lane.
Yeah, Fatal Bonds.
Fatal Bonds the boar, right? And you can push the wave out. Beast doesn't really like that.
It's a really good combination with Lycan. You kind of work really well with each other in the team fights. Lycan runs in, gives you space to drop the rock on, and Troll is one of the better matchups into the Lycan.
It's a really good Troll game. This hero is undefeated so far. He has won 7 out of 7 games. 7 games, I believe.
I mean, his only issue here, I think, is the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon is the one that can actually make life...
actually 8 games.
Yeah, can make life very hard for the Troll. But he's going to have to probably rely on his teammates like the Tiny or the Beast to kind of deal with the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I'm going to rely on you guys for this knowledge. This Troll, being an Arme hero, is one of the very few times that we do not see an Arme last pick. It is something, even when they've been second pick, they still save him until very last in the draft.
18 is like I feel like the most influential pick in the first pick phase, So at least in my book, he's already getting the highest priority in the draft right now, even if it's not the 23rd pick. I mean, Troll, Beastmaster, there's a lot of synergy. You come together, you hit Roshan quickly, you have the auras. I think Troll really likes to have aura heroes on the off lane. He kind of thrives in those environments. You play really fast when you hit your timings, and I think the heroes that are good against Troll are not exactly very, very good here. I mean, I'm thinking of maybe like something like Faceless Void that's really good late game, but Faceless Void has problems.
Into Wyvern.
Yeah, into the other heroes, you know. So they kind of have a lot of their bases covered here with the first 4 picks. And there's also the Slug, I think, which is kind of like a decent matchup against Troll, but it's not exactly a Slug meta, but it will fit their nighttime draft. You know, you have Slug plus Lycan.
I just love that in these like high-level games, you see like Troll picked into SD, which is traditionally considered a counter, but they just have so much confidence that their other heroes can
Do their jobs
and deal with the SD that it's otherwise a very free Troll game. This is why they ban Bloodseeker, very good against Troll, very good also against Pangolier, and they have absolutely secured the team fights here for them. Even against Warlock, like nothing deals with Pango right now. Like there's no BKB piercing disable. What are you gonna rock him for a single second out of his
You also
roll?
don't have the damage. At least you don't have the damage to kill Pango.
I mean, there's
through
only
the Rolling
Faceless
Thunder.
Void, right? Like with the Dilation or and the Chrono. I don't see anything else that can kind of deal with the role. But then again, their lineup will be very, very slow.
Oh, what about some carry Doom to stop the healing coming through? It's very good against Troll.
It is, yeah.
But it is also very slow.
The only issue there for me is like you don't do anything against Pango. You doom him when he's rolling and he just keeps rolling, right? Like I feel like you're totally happy being a Pango in a game against a Doom. I like the Faceless Void, but there's counters. Razor's also there. They picked the Jug. Okay.
This is a statement. If we talked about throughout the whole year, one of the more staple heroes for Ame, it has been Jug. He tried to make it work for such a long time, and now they last picked Jug against Ame's Troll Warlord.
I mean, I kind of feel like it's gonna be so tough for the Jug though. Like there's Curse, that's raw, and then you have the Rolling Thunder, which you don't really do much to it. I mean, sure you can Omni Slash him. But the thing is, I feel like Jug has a lot of counters already in the game with the Raw and the Wyvern, Co-Embrace, and the Curse itself, you know. And against Troll, it's like he doesn't care if you Omni Slash him, he just needs to click his R.
They have no control. They have like no silences. This Troll, I feel like he's gonna pop off. Extreme Gaming, they have overall better team fight, I would say, with Rolling Thunder, with Winter Wyvern, Troll. They don't have that burst damage that he's gonna be afraid of. Sure, there's some kiting coming up from Shadow Demon, but he can survive long enough because of all these reset mechanics that they do have on Extreme.
Yeah, Jenkins, you said even before you saw the last pick of Tundra that Extreme Gaming had secured the team fight. Does the Jug alter that formula for you in any way, or it's still very straightforward?
I think that Extreme still has the team fight secured.
Yeah.
But Tundra now at least has like scaling options in the game. You know, like Juggernaut with Omni Slash, he will full to zero any hero. Like if some heroes are orchided, they will die. So they have play options because whenever you have damage, you always have play options. But I agree, it's not like a free Jug game by any means.
Yeah, I think the execution level is definitely higher for Tundra's lineup, whereas for XG is, I think, pretty straightforward with their heroes. You get some auras, you have Dagger on your Wyvern, you group together, your Troll's hitting a tower, everyone's behind him, it's straightforward, right? Whereas for Tundra, they're going to have to juke and jive, you have to use the Storm, find the Wyvern, you have to farm your items on Jug, and it's not a straightforward game for them.
Yeah.
In the earlier part of it, though, Lacoste, we're talking about just how strong we're feeling the safe lane is for XG and also how strong the off lane is for Tundra. So now with heroes in those placeholders, does it feel like it favors one way or the other?
Now, Extreme Gaming, they have a very strong safe lane. You have Troll against Lycan with the Winter Wyvern. You're not losing that lane.
Okay, at all. Anything else that you guys want to put out there before we get to know some more information from the coach?
I will say I think Jug's generally like an underrated hero. I was seeing it in pro-level pubs up until TI, so I feel like some players just have a read that it's a really good hero and people are not valuing it high enough.
Okay. And Winter?
I think Jug is going to...
Wait, did we see what facet the Winter Wyvern went?
No, but I think Jug is not going to do much this game, so I'm not going to agree with Andrew here.
Okay, alrighty. We've heard it all that we can from our panel right now, but we're going to get some more words from one of our coaches with Tsunami.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am joined by Xiaowei, coach of Extreme, and Helen will be helping me translate. It is the first game of TI 14 here on the main stage, and more than a game, I'm quite interested in your hair. Ame's got lavender hair, X-Nova's got blonde hair, you've got red hair. What's the story behind this?
本次比赛主舞台第一场比赛，我们更关注的是你们的发色很有趣。阿妹的发色是淡蓝色的，然后Xnova 的是黄色的，你的是红色的，是有什么故事吗？
没有，我们3个就集合训练的时候不约而同发现大家都染头发。
There's no story, but after we arrived at the boot camp, we noticed that we have different hair colors.
Wow, the synergy on this team, even without communicating. And then in the days off, you guys qualified quick through the tournament. How'd you stay sharp after you went 4-0?
作为本次比赛首支晋级正赛的队伍，在休息日当中是怎么保持自己的状态的呢？
我们就晋级以后就稍微讨论了一下，然后每天都会保持训练，然后打路人，也没有干别的事情。
So after advancing to the main event, we continue with our scrims. We had discussions and played ranks. So that's what we did.
Well, hopefully the pubs have kept your things sharp. Going up against Tundra Xiaowei, thank you very much. Good luck in game number 1. And let's send it to our casters, Trent and Lyrical.
Thank you so much, Tsunami. We are here. We are ready. Hamburg, are you excited for the first game of the International? Well, that's good because we're going to be here another 60 minutes, surely, if anything, go by from what we had earlier.
Do you think that's what Tundra have in mind here, though? They picked a juggernaut into quite a bit of, debuff immunity stuns here, Lyrical. I'm a little concerned.
You know, you're not wrong. And the panel was talking about it, sort of this team fight supremacy that you sort of have in this early goings for XG. And I was wondering if they maybe are even just thinking, we're going to Healing Ward try and like push high ground. And that's why they went for it. Because there were those other more team fight oriented heroes they maybe could have gone for.
Yeah,
instead saying doubling down on the push potential.
Yeah, Winter was bringing up the Faceless Void. I thought that looked kind of solid too. Obviously there were issues no matter what hero you picked. This is a very well-rounded draft from XG. You've got this very defensive and annoying Winter Wyvern hero that we haven't seen too often, but you start to think about what happened at the road to the International, and you're like, yeah, Wyvern kind of fits, you know?
Oh, yeah.
We got some swarming units for potential with the Helm creeps. We've got this ability to just like try and defend these towers, slow things down, and also just really big team fights that have been very game deciding at the later parts of this game. And of course, Winter Wyvern, just like Disruptor, one of these supports that late game, you get a Blink Dagger, the fight can just be on you completely.
Yeah, and of course, that's where BZM is going to be looking to make those big jumps in later on to find Xnova hanging out to the side. But at least out of this early going, we're just getting a solid laning stage, it looks like, for Tundra. You can see they're already putting a little bit of a hamper here onto Ame's Troll Warlord, a hero that I absolutely despise, but it does actually seem like it's pretty good in this game.
Yeah, it's got some issues, but it's pretty much just the Shadow Demon, right? This idea of just trying to disrupt who you're attempting to target during your ultimate, also just being disrupted yourself, perhaps. So some nuisances, but overall, it's obviously been a very successful hero here so far. You saw it's already 8-0 along the road of this tournament, so seeing if Ame can keep it lossless thus far.
And already they're doing some pretty good spam out here. Interesting to see XXS go for the early boars, considering the counter that we've seen them take in Toby's Warlock, but still opting to play more around that, of course, boar, and then eventually Helm of the Overlord build.
Yeah, I think it's a little hard to get like tons of value out of the Fatal Bonds versus his boars right now. And of course, the ability to just stack constantly. You know, we've seen these Beastmaster players just very early getting multiple stacks off, and that has been a key to a lot of the success that we've seen from XG so far. So I can appreciate still using that. And his lane partner here, Xingqiu, on this Tiny, I feel like this is a very contested hero between these two teams. I was thinking that they were maybe going to be grabbing it for Soxa, perhaps moving Toby over to the Shadow Demon if they could, but then just instantly snapped up there by XG. And I have a feeling it's not the last time we'll see this hero in this series.
Well, after the early stages here of this lane, you can see across the board Tundra just getting a little bit of the better of it, and Ame might get a fourth stack here of the poison. Do they want to stick around for a fifth? If Soxa hit this would be huge. Instead goes over to Xnova, stacks him up again, gets it on the boat. Oh man, Ame very low there.
Yeah, some big value happening here. Has to be past a Tango, and does have a salve coming on. The Courier Chrysalis now spinning away up top here onto Xingqiu.
Turns, realizes this is not going to work. Toby low. Oh, gets the root, a few more hits, but Toby, he manages to survive.
All right, big ward value there.
He just last hit a bird that was going. I have not seen that before on a jug. That was pretty cool.
You know, this is this is what Warlock usually does. You know, you pick Warlock so you can pick your Spectres or your, I mean, some other hero that needs a little bit of help in the lane, right? And they just get healed over and over. Chrysalis picks Jug, saves the Warlock under tower.
Yeah,
you know?
Not what you expect all the time, but still very good stuff. 29 and 13 for Chrysalis. Still only 13 last hits on XXS. They are really taking it to him here.
Xingqiu kind of struggling to assist, right? He's at half HP, so even if he mangoes and goes for a play, if he messes up, he's just going to get spun down to death until he has boots.
Well, usually we think about last picks in the context of, you know, being this hero that's going to be a great team fighter later or cause this like huge problem. Maybe this problem is just trying to completely dominate the lane and then snowball from there, shut down XXS's timing, because it's going to be a while before he gets that Dominator.
And while all this action is happening in the side lanes, very quietly, we have a pretty big lead growing here for BZM. That's why they call him the best zoomer mid, you see.
Oh my god.
Because he's crushing it right now. Look at him, he's top of the board. Where's this Pango? You know, XM's leading for his own team, but he's under all 3 cores for Tundra.
That's true. No, they're having a good time of it so far. Obviously can turn in a moment if things get a little bit too spicy and some early hits thrown out. But 6-minute mark coming up, first rune, obviously a really important time for a Storm Spirit. And they're getting set up, should be able to secure the top one. Tiny's there too. And it's going to be an invis gotten by XM. Never mind.
All right, back he goes.
But if there's a rune you're going to miss as a Storm invis, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, it's, you know, we'll take it here. Of course, that is going to be a major focus, as it always is, for any sort of a Spirit mid.
So as we get close to the 7-minute mark, we'll see if anybody decides to make the movement over for Wisdom. It does appear like Shadow Demon is going over to try and sneak one, or maybe go for a kill here onto XXS. He's just a little bit... Oh, and Pango rotating also.
Yeah. They really need this play right now.
The invis, they see one, don't spot XM though, and now Rolly back and forth, finds 2. Chrysalis decides that he cannot make that move forward onto the Beastmaster, so they shut down any extra action coming their way, and it looks like it is just going to be a trade-off of Wisdoms.
Yeah, that's a lot of time spent here from the mid, unfortunately. Big effort, and you know, I'm looking at XXS. He's lowest of the cores, and he doesn't have anything to fall back on right now.
Yeah.
There are no stacks made for him at this moment. And even if there were some, like, they're obviously getting very aggressive right now. As you can see, Tundra, BZM's coming in here, he's like, where are the stacks, man? Like, I'm trying to steal a double or a triple here, and there's just nothing for me to grab.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, they already put some good pressure on after the big rotations over to this side of the map. XG are able to keep their tier 1 tower alive. But you can see kind of the idea that Tundra's going for here. They want to shut this down before XG really come online. 33.
Yeah, it's kind of there's this idea of trying to shut down Ame, right? And make sure, because Ame has been the game winner in a lot of these drafts that they've gone for. He is the big condition to get the W at the end of it. But we're not seeing that pressure on him, right? They've kind of just left the lane because they're worried about potential kills. Instead, they're putting all this focus on XXS to try and just slow down any sort of an engine that's going to give that time to Ame. Rather than focusing him, shutting him down, get rid of the playmakers themselves in this XXS Beastmaster.
And then naturally he's going to lose the rest of his map as things go on. That makes a lot of sense. Well, 8 minutes, another rune taken away from the Storm. That one was a shield rune. So should have a decent chance of getting a kill rune after the fact. Toby takes over at mid and wants to... Obviously, won't be getting that many more points in his Grimoire since it is still 0-0 at 8.5 minutes.
Ah, yes. To be expected, it would seem.
Yeah.
I mean, that has been the narrative, right? There's this idea of, like, XG are crushing the late game. They're doing so well whenever they go late. They are playing for the late all the time. Can Tundra come in and just punch him in the face, get rid of that plan, attack them super quickly? You see this immediate 3-3 Lycan, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, here we go. So far, we're not there, but it's all coming together, you know?
That's right. X-Nova still hanging out. Soxa spots him, And that should turn into an eventual kill as the banishment is there. Does have a TP away. Any way to break that? Yes. Saksa gonna draw first blood.
Oh, I see some red flashing in the crowd here. Everyone immediately checking for their Crimson Witnesses.
That's right.
Oh, speaking of flashing in the crowd, it's National Alert Day here in Germany, Lyrical.
That's right. So in a couple of minutes, there might be a loud sound. Do not be alarmed. It's only an alert. You don't need to run away. It's going to be fine.
Got like 2 minutes until that's going to go off. So
maybe there will be a hype fight happening at the same time.
Yeah, so check your phones. It might go a little wild. Just so you know. Thanks. Shout out to everyone warning us about that in the community.
That was good. So 1 kill so far as we get towards that 10-minute mark. And at least for now, no big rotations after that one that went up top. Could look for another rune here. BZM is going to go down bottom. Pango almost done with the Diffusal Blade, and that is a haste rune bottled up for BZM. That's what you want to see if you're a Tundra fan.
Ooh, but he goes right into a ward here, so obviously going to be spotted. Plants a very sneaky one there. BZM helping out the fantasy gamers there as he plants a ward.
Chrysalis gonna come and contest these immovable objects.
Is that what we're calling the Helm Creeps?
Yeah, I think so at this point. As 33 sent one through also. So Helm on Helm action.
It's what everyone here came for, you know?
Heroes are so yesterday, you know.
Yeah.
We're also almost about halfway to a Battle Fury done for Ame on the Troll Warlord, if he can get to a good time. And likewise, Chrysalis trying to make his way there too.
Yeah, at the top of the board right now. Chrysalis, you know, a lot of his signature heroes were still in this pool. I didn't know what we were going to get. A late ban on the Bloodseeker, but to go for the Jug, you know, this is New Age Chrysalis. He didn't force a Razor, because like, it's tempting in some ways, but it also has some disastrous counters there. But that hasn't stopped him in the past, you know? He's usually very willing to force his very specific heroes, but wants this Jug this time.
An interesting moment there. And now, as we are scooting forward, it looks like they're still just trying to get Toby level 6. I mean, they cut down one of the towers on bottom. I kind of feel like there might be a moment where they could go for another push towards mid, potentially. We'll see.
They could indeed, my friend. They could indeed.
Trent's just happy that he got a Crimson.
What?
Unbelievable.
What? No, I'm not.
BZM takes Ame down.
I thought it was the alert happening and it was the Crimson. That's not my fault. I was trying to be a good member of production.
That's right. BZM working his way down it.
There, I hear them ringing out now, actually, across the arena. That's a lovely sound.
Yeah, it's nice.
There we go. Hopefully not in the booths as well. Thank you, everyone, for dealing with that.
Is this real that he's going for the Holy Locket on Storm Spirit?
Well, all right, we're juicing it up here. That's a lot of energy, you know?
That's crazy. What an interesting decision.
With a Soul Ring as well.
Yeah.
Just fully committed.
You know what? If nobody's casting spells, you need to make your own charges.
That's right.
So Holy Locket Storm, let's go. Could also be like some pretty cool, like, you know, late game saves.
So this has been attempted before.
Okay.
But the problem is you don't do anything.
Right.
Right? That is the issue. It's because like you're not going Orchid. So it's not some like super aggressive build. You're not going Witchblade to boost your damage. It's kind of like it helps in fights, but it also sort of helps passively, right? It's good attributes. You're just farming it up a little bit. I'm curious to see how it fits. Maybe it's because he wants to be like this heavy initiating role. And so he wants to make sure he has lots of zips to go in, to get back out, and open up these fights for 3-3 to dominate. I think that's the plan here.
Dude, a Cold Embrace. I mean, this is what you basically have to do, though, I think, because it's going to be too tough otherwise. So you've got the Cold Embrace ability to keep these towers alive, and they are desperately going to need it, because I think Tundra is just going to start grouping now.
Yeah, it looks like they're indeed hitting their timing. There certainly has been an impressive recovery here from XXS, I do have to say, with the help of these Helm Creeps. He is back right now, so he does have some capabilities as they move in for this fight, but he's going for that Ags next.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sunk gold right now that's just giving him some stats, but until he gets that Aghanims, he hasn't really upgraded that much.
Oh, and the potential here, they're smoked up.
Is it our first big fight of the international lyrical?
To contest, they roll it up, trying to find an opening. XM
he didn't
managed to get it, actually. They do have the winner's curse if they need it. If they step too far forward on Tundra, they're going to be in trouble. Cold Embrace onto Xingqiu, keeping him alive for only a moment.
Oh, he's going in.
Still hanging on to this. The winner's curse is ready, but the roll through on XM. They did manage to kill the Tiny, but they won't get anybody else.
Look at xNova. He's just getting zoned back.
Yeah.
Like, the Dragon was on him. The Lycan creeps are there. He's trying to get in there to create a good fight opportunity by baiting in Xingqiu, but he can't get the finish.
Yeah.
Because, how can you get in there as this Dragon?
Buying another smoke.
Wyvern.
There you go. Sorry.
Sorry. But there's particulars out there.
That's a crazy one. I mean, yeah, and like going for these arcane boots first, you obviously understand you want that, but like some extra mobility, this is the thing that this hero struggles with a lot in this game. But another tier 1 tower taken. That's 3 of them down, and still stacks are being built.
Yeah, this is, of course, the specialty of Shadow Demon. Very easy to do multiple camp stacks. And he's even going to get back to his own wisdom here. So very happy Soxa right now.
Can see top net worth still being held by the Jug, and oh my god, not a camp stack.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've been watching across, it's like, where it doesn't exist.
Wow. I mean, I guess if they know they're going to be giving up a lot of the map early, stacking camps just like makes that eventual steal worse.
I actually think they would have lost their stacked camps.
Yeah.
Had they stacked near their ancients, I do think BZM would have just simply stolen them.
Interesting. I mean, I guess with the Jug pick, they kind of knew it was coming. It was going to be this early pushing, and so they're like, we're just going to give up the areas where we need to, make sure that they fight for the runes, though. Ame getting jumped on now. Do they have enough to bring down the Troll? Zipping in, chasing for more. xNova nearby. Does still have that Cold Embrace waiting. Turns, pops the ulti.
He's got to pop it, he thinks.
Yeah. And now he's not free from this. It's still not completely safe for Ame, and he drops.
Oh, that hurts.
Wow.
That's a really painful death because he's into a dangerous road coming up here soon. We have an Orchid being built by 3-3. He wants to create this opportunity where they can target the Troll, throw the Orchid on him, and then he has no choice. Like, right? He has to build into this Manta to escape from that, to have the opportunity to go into his ultimate while being targeted by a Storm and a Juggernaut.
The late game team fight from XG is very good, but I'm starting to have some doubts on if they're going to be able to get there. There are those other couple of big items that are coming up, for instance, the Beastmaster and the Pango in terms of these Aghanim Scepters, but that Orchid, it creates some problems for Troll that nobody else can really solve.
Yeah,
he's got to do it himself.
And BZM's about to have his Witchblade, so he's gotten his little Holy Locket to help him out here, but he's going to have a little bit of damage to help out here. So they can actually go for these finishes. And then it's time to just start making moves with the Golem. I'm sure that will be the plan here from Tundra and XG. It's kind of a matter of like, how much can you get before this pressure comes in? There is a very important item coming. We're going to have the Aghanim Scepter done here for XXS. So now, he is now a hero. He's garnered something else to assist. But, you know, a lot of the value of the Aghanims outside of taking objectives comes down to how the fight plays out as BZM jumps in queue.
They go, try and blow him up. He's already used his Avalanche, and Xingqiu, is he going to pop to that? Cold Embrace comes in. Meanwhile, they just dropped a Golem onto XXS. He turns and starts beating it down. The Golem being used actually makes this scary for Tundra.
Yeah, I think what happened is he was worried about BZM, because BZM was kind of getting wrapped on a little bit.
Oh no, Ame. Forced to pop it again. He's fully trapped in by the Lycan here. Nowhere left to go.
When the dog walks you.
Oh no, Ame in trouble. And in spite of the butterfly, it's going to be a second death for Ame.
And although he's dying, this is what you get with the Ags.
They scan it though. They know immediately, but no Golem.
No Golem. No ability to get here. I mean, BZM, he has no TP. He has no mana anyway. He does have a great healing Lotus. But, you know, it is slow.
They're zipping. They're thinking about it. Tundra starting to run down the river. They're going to get there, I think, just a little bit too late. XXS gets the Aegis. Chrysalis going to drop the Army's and it goes over to the floors.
That was crazy.
Unreal. Do they find him? Can they kill him? XXS still surviving. XM jumps in. He finds Toby. Oh, how is this working? Now they get that Cold Embrace. The winner's curse on top of Roar. Oh, you hate to see it, but he might be in trouble. Disruption save. Soxa's right there. Do they have enough to catch and kill onto Chrysalis? Looking now, finding, yes! XG win a fight they should not have won. And they managed to put it together. and he still has the Aegis.
You know, this... I feel like this fits what's been happening at the Road the International. It was a risk, and it feels like taking risks almost never works out right now.
Oh, it was a risk for Tundra to go in and fight that. Exactly.
Like, I think throwing out that Omni Slash was just so dangerous.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's the vision issue, right? He doesn't know. He can't see that those creeps are still in there, so he's just like, he thought he had something there. But I'm sure versus the Beastmaster anyway, he kind of assumed that wasn't going to be it. He was thinking like, oh, I'll get the spin down, but he doesn't want to chase XXS there. He gets pulled back, and even though some of the spells didn't quite sync up the way you'd hoped, it still went pretty well for XG.
Unbelievable.
He was close to having spin here too, but I mean, he's just surrounded at this point. Ame's coming back up, and this game evened out, if not in the favor of XG at this point, because that really does put a damper on this ability to keep on pushing for Tundra.
It's bought time. That's the most important part of it, for sure. That was the Aegis that I think you're supposed to get from Tundra, and start walking down tier 2 towers.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm not sure what the game plan is.
I mean, that is definitely a wipe all 3 tier 2 towers Aegis. I think without a doubt, they're all gone if you get that. So now they are able to just regroup, focus up, grab the Tormentor. So that'll go over to Toby. At the same time, Xingqiu did finish his Blink Dagger on this Tiny, which obviously opens up a whole new avenue in how to defend these objectives and take these team fights.
Well, next up for XXS is going to be a Lotus, which can make a really big difference when playing against a Juggernaut, as well as several of these other heroes. But looking to the 21-minute Wisdom, and I think that XG are going to try and sneak away the Dyers. Radiant scanning right now, seeing that they're not over by theirs, at least for the moment.
They do love to give these to Ame.
No, yeah, they're backing out. So they're not going to go and try and contest. When they saw that nobody was at theirs.
Yeah, they were hoping to just give Ame theirs and focus in there, but not able to get there in time. So that's going to go to Soxa again. As he hits level 12, gets the second point in this Demonic Purge.
Man, you think about like all of that stuff and what could have gone differently, but they get the Aegis kill just in time, and now 33 going to have to summon a new creep for himself. It's the Marsh Mage. Kind of a weird one. Love the Croaker more personally because it does that.
Yeah, but this guy looks cool. Look at that staff.
That's true.
Yeah, he's kind of swag.
It's pretty awesome.
I think we should get that as a cosmetic in some of the heroes.
As like the new Tide skin or something?
Oh, no, I was thinking like you get this just the staff. Like you killed him and took his staff, you know? So this, there was a plumber on the panel. I don't know if you guys saw that. He mentioned that XG tend to draft many ways to get into fights, which I thought was very good because that is something they have consistently done. That's why they win these fights, because it's not super formulaic. They play it, more like this idea of there's so many ways to get in the engagements every single time that it's very difficult to predict how the fight's going to break down. You look at Tundra, how does the fight start? Storm zips. Like, is there really anything else? Like, either they're hitting a tower and that starts the fight, but if they want to get aggressive, it's a Storm zip every single time, right? You're not just going to like Lycanol then run at someone very often for a good 5v5 situation. You look at XG, we got a Blink Dagger on a Tiny, we got a Beastmaster who can like frontline into a Roar, we got Pango roll, and then we're going to have this mobility and longer cast range eventually on X Nova here too. So it's much harder to predict how the engagements are going to go on the side of Tundra. They have to try and like figure out what XG are doing, and XG can just sort of position, always thinking like, where's the Storm Zip?
And then play around that continuously, absolutely. A smoke up now is they're going to try and bait out Ame for a moment as they get ready to walk uphill. XXS sees the Watcher, does not see the Storm, which is lurking nearby. The rest of the team also wrapping around. They just also finished a Blink Dagger, weirdly enough, on the Lycan. So he's got another way to get immediately into the fight with this Blink Orchid.
All right, I like this. This brings me back. This is some TC Dota, you know? This is some old school. This is like buying the Blink on the hero that you don't really expect it, then you're like, yeah, this kind of makes sense, because it synergizes with whatever item you bought. Or just the way that you need to win a fight in this case.
I think the one thing that's scary about it, though, is that it's also like kind of doubling down on an idea that's already been answered. With the exception of XM.
Because he has a Manta.
Troll has a Manta, Beastmaster finished a Lotus, and now Pango, I mean, he doesn't have a way to deal with it yet. So that's something to watch for. You could also potentially see maybe a jump line, a jump at the back line of X Nova, and that could be a really good answer. If he's able to spot out that Wyvern, then you could jump him with the Lycan.
Yeah. Yeah, this Lotus could be really nice too, especially if Storm zips in without BK being first.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly you're just yeeted.
That's true. But you can see Tundra, they are not comfortable with trying to make any big moves at this point. And actually, Chrysalis is starting to get a bit more farmed. I believe that's the full butterfly, or close to it at least, coming on out. No, still waiting for the talisman. Okay.
Yeah, he's shifting around that inventory a little bit.
But
XXS getting a little aggressive here, almost runs into Toby, but Toby walks it off.
And not willing to commit much. And I mean, this is, again, all into the favor of XG right now. I'm at least feeling like them going into the later stages will start to feel better, but Tundra have a couple scary windows when they can keep this push going, particularly if they manage to get the next Roche.
Yeah, and you heard the panel talking about like scaling supports. That Shadow Demon, great. You know, heading into the late game, you're always going to have this opportunity to just ruin the way that they want to go into a fight. As we do start one here.
Jump in, Xingqiu, Avalanche, toss, they drop the Golem, connection, XM, roll through onto 3. It's pretty good, and Chrysalis tries to spin it up, and now realizing that's not going to work so well. They are all grouped together. 5 heroes of Tundra.
Where's Xnova? He just, you know, kind of scary.
They just don't have a great way to make this function. Again, that's the jump in from BZM, but what's the follow-up? Now immediately trying to drop huge amounts of damage out, but he gets the ulti disruption. Saksa, key play, need to find more. Can they get it? Ame is low, Ame is dead. Tundra, they've outlasted so far with that healing ward. And
do you want to chase into Curse, though? XXS stands.
Needs to be careful. There it is, the winner's Curse connection onto 33. Do they have enough damage to kill him off? Not quite, but he does fall. Omni Slash onto the Beastmaster and then hits over to the side. XM trying to play cleanup. Gets down Saksa. Maybe a chance here for him to bring down the rest of these heroes. He needs a few more hits. BZM, he gets the triple though. And then the turd finds the double on Chrysalis. Too much sustain.
Oh, focusing down, getting Ame at the beginning there. They lose it on so much of their damage on the side of XG, and they just hold out. They don't allow too good of a curse. You know, it was good targeting the fact that they're able to get down 3-3, but after that, Saksa, he does go down, unable to save his ally, but then there's that cleanup from BZM. That's going to put him up to 12 galvanized charges now.
Oh, man.
As they're going to get some revenge here and grab a Roche for themselves.
I mean, this was nuts. How many heals did Toby throw out?
Look how close Ame is when he pops his ulti here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was crazy. Then the silence comes.
Yes.
Like, that was wild.
And we are seeing the problem of the XG draft right now. Not a great way for them to find those backline supports. They're just free casting.
It's also, we're talking about like these abilities they have in these big team fights, but they're not synchronizing, right? Like the Pango roll happens, it ends, then Tundra start their fight. And also, you know, a full Omni Slash coming out was pretty huge too.
Oh yeah. Full on all of those heroes, and you can see here the cleanup.
I like Toby.
Yeah.
Just standing here throwing at his right clicks.
Every little bit helps.
A 7K lead now here for Tundra. Of course, we have seen that gold leads mean pretty much nothing this tournament. Plenty of comebacks have happened. But it's more than just gold. You know, they have this Aegis. They have this ability to push waves pretty safely. They're going to start trying to contain XG. And now try and march down these tier 2 towers that they were hoping to get a little bit earlier in this game, I imagine.
I gotta say, Ame is just exploding in a couple of these fights, though. He's gotta get some more stuff going for himself.
It's coming. The BKB is only 100 gold away.
And a disruption into push is what it looks like we're going to be seeing. Saksa sends out the illusions. And in the meantime, the goal for XG is what it's continued to be. Farm, farm, farm. Find a pick when you can. As MKB is going to be the next bet for Ame. And another Blink Dagger, this time for the Jug.
I like this. This is just another way to sort of give these ideas of how to start fights to heroes that traditionally don't build a way to do it, right?
Right.
Better ways to try and outplay and make sure that you're not just like super one-dimensional for your opponents.
Ame might show for a second here on this wave, but is very far back, recognizing the danger that could be coming his way. Well, is he? Do they know? Okay, sees the poison and Soxa gets the banish. He went back over. Okay, no, they're not close enough, though, that it's going to matter.
Tumblr's toy is crazy.
Yeah. Jump in. They see that Ame is not there, and now they feel like they can go. An immediate catch and kill on XM.
That lack of Dispel. Just deadly still for that Pangolier as X-Nova and ZenQ both going to TP out.
Manages to escape. Hide and seek. That's the game that XG are playing.
Toby lurking nearby Ame here. Ame, of course, no chance at an MKB as he didn't finish that BKB. So in the 1v1 versus Chrysalis, he's going to have a bit of a rough time right now. But Toby decides there is no play here. He's going to let Ame go. Now
managed to kill his courier.
Close to a blink as well here on Soxa. That's going to be another massive change in these engagements. And X-Nova seeing the struggle in this game. I mean, 4,800 net worth now. That Blink Dagger, he knows it's not really coming very easily, so he's gone for the Pavise instead.
More ways to try and keep his team alive as a smoke up with 3. 33 joins the rest of the fray. Manta to back away. And so that initiation, when it doesn't work, ends up getting away freely on XG.
Yeah, it's going to push them back, though, while they grab Tormentor, so...
You know, I gotta say, I felt like we were going to be getting more out of this Aegis this time around, but not any of the Tier 2 towers have fallen yet for XG.
Yeah, I guess it kind of comes back to something we were talking about before we went live, this idea of just like taking risks. Yeah. You know, this is one of those situations where even going to a Tier 2 is a bit of a risk right now because you're playing versus this Wyvern, versus this Pango. Why bother? Why not just farm up the entire map right now, get an even bigger lead, get even more defensive items on our heroes before we commit to anything too large? Now, if the fight occurs, if there's some sort of a pick-off they can go for, I'm sure they'll opt for it. As, I mean, they can even see now the push up top has caused, like there's so much vision up top, they've seen that, like, oh, okay, we're safe down here. You know, we can go for this tower.
Well, we'll instead start to move towards the mid lane a little bit. BZM. Again, threatens with the jump. XM is nearby. And they call off any extra hits that way. But they pressure, take that bottom Tier 2 tower. Juggernaut shoves out the wave the entire way through and is getting close to a Swift Blink now. After AC completed on Lycan. Man, they're getting some big items.
Now, Ame's illusions aren't enough to stop this mid-wave with the help of the Lycan Wolf. As X-Nova now, he's going to be that pick-off.
Yeah. Should be a pretty easy bring down. So they find and kill the Wyvern.
BZM wants a little bit more here as he gets the regen.
Aegis expiring, jumping. And we'll find a creep. Extra 100 gold in the bank. No problem.
Nice. Toby gets the Wolf. Let's go. And look at this, Chrysalis just, with the help of the Dragon, taking that tower down as his allies, moving towards the Ancient to grab this outpost.
Yeah, bullying movement. That's what you want to see. And the areas where you can farm right now on XG are few and far between. I do like this eventual Shiva's pick that they're getting on Beastmaster. It feels like with all the heals, that was a big part of that sustained live that happened for Tundra last time around.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of value into this game for sure. ZenQ going for these high skill items as well, grabbing himself a Yules, so trying to interrupt some of these plays. You know, you have these blinks coming in from heroes, you just immediately get a Yules on them. I'm not memeing. Yules is a high skill item.
No, I'm with you. I was I was laughing because I looked and I saw there's 3 greedy enchantments on all of the supports that could get it.
You love the greedy.
Oh, the greedy is good, man.
You're checking it every game.
Well, you know, you got this Blink Dagger queued up for X-Nova. That's how you get there eventually. We don't have the only one without it.
We don't have any dormant Curios left. That's always my go-to. I love those. So, if you're XG right now, are we contesting the Roche, or are we going to wait for high ground?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of feel like you can like lightly contest, but that's how they got into that terrible fight last time.
Yeah, but the first one was really good.
That's true.
You know, they're 50-50 on Roche fights this game.
That's true. Now, one of them came right afterwards, didn't even lose the Aegis.
I would say with how XG have played so far this tournament, I would imagine them to try and push out these waves, try and get some vision down, and contest the Roche.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
BZM leading the charge again. And zips on forward, finds Xnova. Ame right there, gets the root, pops the ulti. BZM forced to pop his BKB. And then get out of here. Wait, jumps back in. TP out. Ooh, buddy.
Oh, meanwhile, we got a smoke coming in. Chrysalis coming close to XM and XingQ. Ulti dropped by Toby.
What do they have on the docket? XM gets caught and killed, shows the value of that Omni Slash, and now XingQ in further trouble. Tundra hitting hard, finding kills.
BZM wants to join the party here as an arcane rune, so he's okay with burning a little bit just to get up with his allies. This amplified damage rune annihilated that Pango, and now it is coming for your towers.
And jumps forward, Chrysalis by the tier 4s.
Jeez, danger there for Xnova. That could have been a disaster.
And ready at a moment. They throw out the Splinter Blast. Do also have another Cold Embrace, so these towers are going to live a little bit longer. They also have Shiva's done now for the Beastmaster. Tier 3 tower down, jump in, finds one, Ame there, roar onto Shadow Demon. It's a good target to get. Do they have enough for the kill? No! Saxa lives through it.
Xnova bought back, he's coming.
So let's go in, hunting, ethereal mode. A couple more hits is all they need. They got to take down that Shadow Demon. He's in further trouble with Chrysalis just walking away.
BCS on Xnova.
Going, but do they have enough damage? Needs a few more avatars, yes! XingQ gets him!
And Xnova lives!
He might be able to do a bit more. I mean, BZM is inside the base still while the rest of XG is cleaning up. Can they take down any more? Toby is gonna fall, but the hold happens.
Oh, Xnova surviving long enough to get the curse off to delay BZM. Gives so much room for XG to go out there, and now the third Roche has spawned.
It was almost an instant spawn. And Jug is not here. Do they realize, though? Are they gonna go and check? Oh man, that was a huge moment.
You got summons. Surely you're going to go. Soxa did scout already. He also knows it's up. He threw a poison in there.
They have buyback. I kind of feel like you have to go for something here. But also, it was Tundra that got the last Roche. So they're not going to get a roar. And so I think they just get this in time.
I mean, Soxa sees it, but
they're on the other side of the map. They cannot get here in time.
No, there's no way.
Oh, third Roche going the way of XG.
That is an Aegis, that is a refresher, and that is some cheese to the team that mere seconds ago was losing a mid lane of racks. And it was only the range racks that went down.
Oh man, this is gonna get a little spicy here in a second. I'm starting to feel it. It did cost a buyback from the Wyvern, but well worth it considering what they were able to get out of it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Shiva's now claimed for BZM. Still an 11K gold lead, but signs of life for XG.
And you think about how that push started too, right? It was an amplified damage rune on a Jug who managed to get the ulti onto the Pango. You can't really be sure this stuff's going to happen again.
Oh yeah. 9K on that gold lead. And where are we going to go now as Tundra? Because again, they are really far ahead. The gold lead is into their favor. You're getting these big items, but they're playing now into an Aegis. I mean, I do feel like they've shown that they have what it takes to sort of team fight with XG in the late game. But do they want to try and just sort of delay out longer? Is there a point where they sort of run out of steam a bit here? Tough to know.
Yeah, these are the questions. But right now, you can see the confidence is back a little bit here as they move outside. There is a great Ob Sentry combo inside their base right now, so there is some good vision here for Tundra. Maybe they can take advantage of that to try and find themselves a good play, but for now, they don't really see a whole lot of what's going on. They're trying to just keep pushing in this bottom lane, using the creeps, but XSS is back to defend.
You could see there, too, a Ghost Scepter picked up for the Pango, understanding the danger in this game. Of course, with Soxa in it, you've also got the Demonic Purge that can come out, and then you're just done.
Yeah.
Oh, Ame decides to go for Satanic after the MKB.
Yeah, he's got himself double Dispel here, so very helpful. And we are going to have, it looks like, 2 Abyssals at some point here as well. Chrysalis, not exactly sure what he's going to do. He's got a few items going on right now.
Yeah, the Swift Blink seems like it makes sense. a straight up refresher bot now on the Beastmaster.
And the Shard is sitting on the Pango as well.
24 on Beast. XXS has had a pretty standout game after a rough laning stage. And now a smoke up with 5. Tundra. Are they going to realize what's happening?
Speaking of which, it is the plus 50% Blade Dance lifesteal on that Jug, so
okay,
that could be very pivotal in these fights, but you know, that Shiva's certainly helpful.
Oh, and actually going for the Shard on Troll now too. Ame has that one coming out for himself.
True.
So the extra percentage chance to throw out ranged attacks at the same time. Nullifier for XM. It's going to be the next call, but as has been the case so far in this game, the big save is that guy, Saksa, and does not care about the Nullifier.
Well, he does have an Aeon Disc, so
that's true.
He might care a little bit.
He'll care about that when he's saving other people. He doesn't care.
That's going to help. There was also a Force Staff just picked up by Toby too, so that's another issue for that. And Tormentor will be coming up here shortly. XG in a very good position for it.
Yeah, they're even calling out the Lotus pools. I think, are they trying to get enough for a block of cheese? Roar mid. Finds him. XXS wanting to blow up. Double roar. He did not like Toby, and that was 763 gold gained for that.
Okay, I mean, it helps out, right? Draws a lot of attention mid. Ame takes the top tower at the same time. He has a couple people smoking next to him right now.
Roar back up in 15 seconds because of that level 25.
Should Toby buy back here?
Saksa looks for a jump, immediately catching, trying to blow him up, but the cold embrace is there. Another way to save. That's BZM's BKB, and he's rooted. BZM able to get out. Oh, last second, able to get the stun from the Croaker.
Okay, Toby bought back for this. There's still Troll ulti. They have not gotten anything here.
A dangerous situation. 25 seconds until the Aegis is back up. How much do they have in the tank right now on Tundra to fight this?
I think they want to try and kite this, right? If you can get a disruption or something, try and like bait them into a bad fight right now if you can. And XG are backing away because they don't want that. They don't want to fight with no Aegis. There's no point.
Playing it safe. They get the double roar, they find themselves the kill, they walk down mid, they get a buyback as well.
And they're going to start pushing this wave. They're going to try and find something right now. There's a circle there from BZM. He encircles exactly where they are.
Look at XG, they're just running back to the base.
They're drawing the exact same line that Tundra are moving on right now. They're perfectly predicting this. Will this Swift Blink open something up for Chrysalis? Will he get lucky with a bash? What does he have?
Jumps in, zips, finds one, it's onto the Beastmaster. Is it going to be enough? He got the Lotus off, but it's onto Ame. He pops the ulti, trying to stay alive, but a huge crit blows up one. Ame turns back now onto the jump, trying to find that kill. Chrysalis, he's out of here. A huge kill, and now looking for more. That's 2 down.
He's trying to get XXS, but he's just running.
33 is in too far, and XXS is healing up through this. But wait, they're also kiting over to the other side. 2 fights going on simultaneously. Looks like XM is able to get away for a moment, and the Pango rolls. Ethereal mode, trying to survive. Kills off Saksa on nothing, and he gets the blink away.
He's got the barrier.
I can't believe XM did that, getting away with murder, and now XXS also finds himself the storm. The toss, no! He gets the BKB out. Tundra in shambles after that fight. I mean, they got torn apart.
They look the same, I'll tell you that, since the break. This is XG. They have not lost a step right now.
Oh.
Simply utilizing their opponent's net worth lead to gain more gold.
Yes.
It's genius.
And now they do not have this defense because of the buyback. I mean, also no golem for 80, so even when he's back up, it doesn't really matter. This is going to be a full lane of racks for XG as they take this down. And, I mean, how much more do they want to go for? What's the call, XG? Still 18 seconds till Jug is back up. 33 is behind them. And Pango is not quite here yet. Oh, Ame's just going to leave his illusions there and slowly back away.
X-Nova is just calling for the retreat, drop some vision behind
33. Him. Oh, I thought he was going to go in, but no. He is sending in his creep and finds XM. Could see Dota plus win probability still in favor of Tundra somehow. But it's starting to swing, I think.
I mean, if they eventually win a fight, it'll be great.
Yes.
So far, they consistently not be able to do that. Yeah, Ame is picking up the lion's share of this gold, so just immediately buys himself bots too.
And buys out for it. So he will have buyback in, a couple of creep camps, but if the fight happens before then, that could be a problem.
And they're still staying on the aggressive here, going in behind the creep wave, thinking, hey, if they come on out, but, I mean, they have Ops and Sentry in this area, so they're pretty sure it's empty. Hoping that someone's smoking through, they can catch them off guard, perhaps. As Soxa is lurking in behind, grabbing these waves right now, trying to delay things once more.
Do whatever they can to stop the push that they know might be coming back their way. And the other thing now, too, is that with bots 2 online, Ame has the buyback TP in play to potentially just end it if the fight looks good.
That is true. They have so much split push potential on Tundra, though. It's very annoying. Like, we got the multiple wolves now for the Lycan. He got the +2 at 25. So he's sending them out right now. He's got his Helm of the Overlord creep. You got a Storm Spirit who's zipping around. And have we gotten a good catch for the Storm yet?
Not
like,
really,
we don't have a Scythe, really.
The best thing that we've seen is Troll Roots. And Soxa tries to blink away, TP out. Do they find him? Oh, he's sneaky, sneaky Soxa.
Yeah, he was here for so long, too. Xnova will find his ward, though. Figuring, okay, if this guy's been here for that long, he definitely dropped some vision. So good eye on that one.
But again, you bring all those people over, what are Tundra doing? Shoving out all of those lanes. They've got one in pushed very far on bottom. They do see Ame bottom alone.
XSS, Lotus is forced out here, but doesn't panic BKB.
Yeah, and Ame now TP's mid and realizes we're in the area.
I mean, it's when you look at a creep wave and you got 5 wolves on it from the shard, and you're just like, okay, this is a little crazy.
Chrysalis shows on the wave, so does Ame. Underneath some sentries, but no great
He's
vision.
going in.
Now they find him. There it is, immediately popping away with that Aeon disc. Ame is hitting onto these creeps, but off to the side, it's BZM that was able to blow up Xnova.
That's a buyback.
Roar now, connection. Do they have enough to bring down BZM? BZM zips away. Second roll now coming from XM.
We're still holding Omni Slash.
There's still a bunch of team fight that can come out here from Tundra.
Dude, he can't get out.
Kill him. 33 gets fully rooted.
Just locked down, no way out. Bought back on Xnova to secure the Roche pit. They're still chasing, though. They're not happy with just Roche.
Ready for a moment, toss away Chrysalis, but the Omni Slash waits for a target and gets it there. It's on to Ame. Is it enough for the finish, though? No. Ame hits, now immediately away, and Satanic's back up. They even passed the cheese over to him. But they need to back out now on XG. They might be a bit too far forward. Even without 33, it's a dangerous time to stick around.
And they know too, right? There's no worries here. Go back, get another Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard. And Tundra, what can you do?
The roar is there. They know it's going to be dropping quick. Tundra, we always knew that this could have been an option.
There's still a curse right now. There's no Omni Slash.
Think about a zip. BZM not going in yet. The roar is there. Finds him. Chrysalis disruption, saving his life. Roche falling low. Not dead yet. Waiting. Jumping. BZM, no! They curse right at the end. Great play by Xnova, and that stops this battle in its tracks. Rooted. BZM manages to get the zip out, but gets caught by XM. And then able to zip away. But the damage has been done. XG, China is back, baby.
Great patience there from Xnova to hold out on that curse there. Make sure there wasn't going to be a zip-in steal, because he definitely had the moment. But it was taken away by Xnova. And these buybacks have been very clutch from him, not diebacking after, and just helping to secure these objectives. And there's also an Amplify damage rune here, it looks like, in the river, too.
All of this being done by Xnova without a Blink Dagger. He's still got it queued up and soon will be ready for more jumps. But again, this constant question comes back up. Do you want to try and walk high ground, threaten high ground? Or maybe you just kill them right when they come to mid lane?
Oh, that one hurts. I mean, this is the road to Scythe right now for BZM, and this is going to cost it for him. Like, this will be a buyback. Surely they're going to push right now. Dead Storm Spirit, 2 Cheese, an Aegis, a Refresher Shard. They are coming high ground right now.
BZM, you got to do something to stop this.
They're calling for a wraparound. Crystallis is trying to get an angle for an insane Omni Slash. He's decided this is the play for them right now.
You've got to do something. You need anything you can get. Fatal Bonds can also go crazy here if they can get the right opening, the right initiation. But after they get the entire racks, they just back out. Now underneath vision, Ame moves over, takes away the ward, and that stops it.
They don't want to go in, like, if they haven't bought back already.
Yeah.
You know, they're just going to sack the racks instead, knowing they have a tier 2 bottom. So they will hold that. They're going to give BZM his opportunity for perhaps another buyback after, just in case this push comes bottom lane for the Megas.
Very fortunate for Tundra that they had not lost that bottom tier 2 tower yet. You can see Dota Plus, in spite of the dominant position, they feel like it's still just 50-50. And to be honest, you win one fight with this Tundra lineup at this stage of the game, they could run down lanes. It's a possibility, but it's feeling harder and harder for it to function.
Can they kill Ame twice, though? I mean, once is hard enough. Oh, Vlad's as well. That's a GG Vlad's right there from ZingQ.
Oh, yeah, he knows.
Flying that out. He just wants a little last item, squeeze out every bit of juice he's got left. He's got no buyback anyway, so he wants to give his team an aura to go high ground.
You know, and we talked about it. Do you take the risk as XG to go high ground? You got double cheese, you got Aegis for 2 minutes. They're still not willing to. This is a patient team. They have waited years to get back into this situation to be playing at TI. They can wait another 10 minutes.
Also more fantasy points.
True enough. Condolences to those that didn't lock in yet. But we are ready to keep that pressure on. And for Tundra, got to find some wraparound, some way to break the status quo.
This is the kind of game, too, that if you lose this as Tundra, like, it hurts. Because it feels like you've been controlling a lot of this game, right? You've always had the kill lead. A lot of the game, you've had the gold lead. And yet you just couldn't quite sync things up the way that you were hoping for with this lineup.
Well, and it was, you know, one specific moment of going for that Roche fight that really started the turn. And then it was like everything else after that also starting to fall apart bit by bit. A disruption onto Ame. XM immediately ready to cover his carry.
Yeah, I really foolishly believed this wasn't going to happen. I was like, this game won't go long. Nah, one way or another, I think it'll be a quick one.
You know, there's a lot of people that weren't quite sure also if, you know, this team was going to be able to maintain that level of play going into, you know, the international itself playing. But when the games go late, China somehow always seems to be able to pull out these amazing comebacks.
Yeah, I think for me watching XG and Tidebound, it has definitely looked like it's just this surplus of tools that they have as we get to this late game, because they're just so good at breaking down these team fights, and it's like they've already thought about all these different permutations and they have these ideas and these combos they want to use, and all of this together, there must be like some just very strong either just insight that they already have or communication of just how these fights can happen and all the different tools we have to make them go our own way, right?
So they hold on to this high ground there, Crystallis. You know, this is the one downside, too, when you're playing Battle Fury heroes that don't have a helm also. It means you have to, like, show on a wave and then you might die. Otherwise, you can just send down creeps. It's fine.
It is crazy that we have heroes that buy Battle Fury and helm. I just want, the fact that you had to point that out is insanity.
One of them got banned, you know? It was the
I know.
So still floating a lot of gold at this point. BZM opting, of course, like you talk about, for the Hex instead of something like an Aghanim Scepter.
XM is getting close here. That we're very, very concentrated down here.
A jump for a moment. Finds him. Now the Golem to try and turn it. 33 right on top as well. Do they have enough damage to take him down? Yes! BZM gone again, and the winner's curse, and the wolf has been leashed.
Let me guess, rooted?
Rooted forever. Ame, double kill. Takes them both down. Can they find more? The TP away looks, but not quite able to break that one. Roar, gone. They take down another 3 clutch kills, and the buyback from BZM, it was not able to get back into this fight.
You know, I'm starting to think that this Troll Warlord hero might be a problem in the late game. Because it would appear there's nothing you can do when you're just constantly being rooted and dying.
You're not wrong. It's kind of crazy how that functions.
Chrysalis, he's looking for a snipe. This is a dangerous play.
I mean, you got to do something, right? Oh, he didn't go for it. Wanted to save the Omni Slash. It was close to an explosion. But the nullifier, oh, he can't get up to the high ground. Toby is going to be caught and killed. And now the silence onto the Troll does not matter. Still manages to kill the Golem. They buy back on 33. XG wanting to close out this game here.
They're thinking about it.
Sans Aegis, they move in. Now the pull back. There's the buyback on all the heroes. Do they have anything else left in the tank? That's a dead Soxa. Chrysalis tries to back away, still has Omni Slash when he comes out of this. Ame still alive. Hitting onto towers. 33 ready to jump. Do they have anything else left in the tank? They find him. He's out of the game. XM, come back. No, that's the wrong way. XM somehow stuck out of the base. Do they have enough damage? Yes, they do. Ame now hits to the side, trying to find a root. Can't quite get it, but the roar is there. Immediately it's dispelled off the end of it, but it won't matter. Chrysalis still to die. BZM, the last one left alive. They buy back on Jug. He needs a little bit more time before he can get Omni Slash back up. 5 seconds, but in that time, your racks are gone. They have Megas.
You know, XM taking the theme a little bit too seriously, heading into outer space there, but it didn't matter because he got the very important leading stun on 3-3, which gave the roots over to Ame and secured the kill.
One last chance to dance for the Juggernaut. Can he get in there and make an Omni Slash happen to stop this push? It does not look like it. As they step themselves forward, there's the connection. Immediately, he goes away. He dodges it completely. The staff gets him out. GG is called. XG, they win game number 1.
They were down, but they were not out. XG continuing to show this beautiful defense that they have in these games. They didn't have stacks early. They were falling behind on net worth, but they gave the space and the time to Ame. And once again, he comes through in the clutch. His team sets him up so well for success, and he's just getting there for them. He's converting that into wins.
Unreal performance from XG. And for that man right there, you got to come up with some new answers. What went wrong in the draft? What could they have done better? We'll find out in game number 2 as we head back to the panel.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be asking those questions here because this early game was a little bit more Tundra favored than we were really expecting, Lacoste. We thought that it was going to be Extreme Gaming from those lanes, definitely into team fights. As the game progressed, we saw those team fights, but early on, it was just a different story.
Yeah, they did much better in the lanes than we kind of expected them to do, especially this bottom lane with the Lycan and Shadow Demon. I think Soxa did a very good job making sure that Lycan is getting the farm. He's the one getting the first blood as well. It's a bit of a slower game as we kind of expected as well, seeing that the Extreme Gaming, they have a lot of slow entries to the game, and Tundra, they needed to really try to close out the game relatively early on, and that's exactly what they tried to do, but a couple of mistakes were made.
Yeah, and I think XG capitalized so well on these mistakes. Like, up until this point in the tournament, this is what they've done. Where you can see that they've isolated, like, what is the way that we're going to win the team fight, which was somebody deal with Soxa. And then Troll, Ame, can go completely ham on everybody else. He counters all of the cores of Tundra, and it's like the one time that they were able to pull that off, the game goes completely in their direction. And up until that point, it was legitimately, they were just biding their time. They were just waiting.
And it's also the fact that I felt like XG really utilized being on the Radiant side because it actually meant that they could kill Roshan between 15 to 20 minutes. And because they already had a bad start from the lane, from the side lanes didn't really go well. And being able to claim that Roshan before it moves to the other side, which would probably allow Tundra to get it, I think that was like a really, really crucial moment in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about these side lanes not going so well. There were still a lot of rotations, and I think something that could have been a little bit better to swing this in the way of XG earlier was the rotations coming out of XM Penga.
Yeah, I mean, the first 2 rotations weren't really successful. This is the second one. You know, some may say that he's not a licensed driver there, so he missed a couple of crucial kills in the early stages. And they kind of needed him to connect, right? Because they were having a tough time on the side lanes, and the Pango kind of needed to help them. come back into the game.
That was also at 7 and 14 minutes, right? So they were not just fighting, they were fighting around an objective. They were trying to claim the Wisdom Shrine. So if you fail to connect on those kills, it's even more impactful than if you're just like randomly ganking a side lane because you have a rune or something like that.
But that also kind of speaks the strength of their overall lineup, right? They could make mistakes, but there are still a lot of options to come back into the game later with their lineup.
Yeah, we always talk about like when a draft is easy to execute, if there's those contingencies for XG, there was. First Roche is always a big one, Lacoste, when it comes to any game of Dota, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It does give you tempo. This is something that they wanted to get on Tundra, but also what happened prior to that is, you know, there's always going to be memes when you see Troll, the way he's trying to utilize his ulti, 33 running away, 900 search radius. It's just too funny to watch, and Tundra realizes that XG realizes that at this point that they showed 3 heroes, so they immediately go inside Roche pit, they take the Aegis for themselves. XSS is going to be holding that Aegis, and they're going to be using quite a lot on him. The fact that I like about this fight is also a bit of a polarizing between 2 offlaners, what they're doing. One finished the Helm, the other one didn't. He did go for the Aghanim Scepter with Winter Wyvern. It does allow him to get the sustain in this fight, because there's a lot of sustain overall on the side of Extreme Gaming. It does allow them to get the fight, and another good roll from XM to be able to finish off these 2 heroes.
I like the build from XXS, to be honest, because I feel like they understood on XG that all they needed to do was bide their time and go late game. And late game Beastmaster, he's not about the Helm Bomb too. Like, he's about even the Aghanim Scepter, this just kind of healing you. It's really about like Refresher, double BKB, double Roar, and we saw how much impact it was having in the team fight. So just if you have faith that you can get there, then I feel like the build makes sense. And that was where they wanted to win the game, because they had Troll versus a bunch of very good matchups for Troll.
Yeah, he truly understood his role. Like, he's the front line and he needs to be in front to soak up the damage. That's why he didn't go for the dagger. Usually sometimes you see Beast go dagger.
Yeah.
And they kind of had the dagger from like the other heroes, right? The Tiny, the Pangolier, and would actually love to see the Wyvern actually get the dagger earlier, because it kind of limited a lot of his team fight presence, because he didn't rush a dagger that game.
I think one of the biggest team fights that was an impact for is the one we're about to see here, right? It was 26 minutes around that Tormentor area, and it feels like so much of Tundra is grouping up together. If this Wyvern had that blink, it could have been a big swing.
He was also kind of connecting to the fight, so he was far away, but I could understand why the Troll decided I needed to hold the high ground. I cannot leave this area, you know. Yeah. But at the same time, if the Wyvern would have had a dagger, it would mean that this fight was going to be so easy, because he could have easily gotten at least a 2-man curse here, saved the Troll, and maybe the team fight would just end right there.
You can see in this fight, this is what happens when SD is not the primary focus, is you have Ame ults, and the person that he ults gets imprisoned, and he gets kited, and then he dies. And this was the name of the game. It was, if they kill Soxa on XG, they win the fight. If they don't kill Soxa or deal with him, they don't win the fight.
That one was a double whammy as well, because Beast Roar was used on that target, and Shadow Demon is just sitting there with enough range to be like, all I have to do is look at where this Roar is going out, Lacoste. That's my target. That's my teammate that I have to focus on saving.
Pretty much. But Shadow Demon, they focused Shadow Demon throughout the whole game for the pretty much last 25-30 minutes, because they realized, even though he had a couple of defensive items, Ether Lens, he was having Ghost Scepter as well, Aeon Disc on top of that, but you have heroes with the Blink Dagger, and as soon as they got Nullifier on Pangolier, this whole thing kind of changed, because they can initiate on top of him, get him to maybe even put him in a position where he's using the defensive disruption on himself, and then your Juggernaut's just straight up going to die, because you're playing into Curse, you're playing into Troll. This is not the matchup that you want to be fighting 1v1.
Yeah, it felt like the Jug was in that unstoppable, unkillable sort of area. I'm sure he felt it too on Chrysalis. We saw him going a little bit deep on that high ground push. This was one of the moments that we could have seen Tundra just close it out. Extreme Gaming wanted that late game. They were biting for it. It ended up paying off for them with such a good high ground defense. If this crumbled the Jenkins, who knows how it could have gone.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of timings that were very important. Like, I love Dota because you have so many like rock, paper, scissors type scenarios where like first the Ghost Scepter on Pango means that he can't be Jug ulted, and therefore Jug is stronger than Pango. And then once the Pango gets the Ghost Scepter, all of a sudden Jug is getting kited, and then Troll is stronger, and then SD comes in, and he's important, but SD is dead at the start of some of these fights or dealt with. So, I mean, that's just Dota, and it's basically like bide your time until you have that open window, and then try to take the good fight when that window is open.
I mean, it's also the fact that the SD kind of had too much to do in the team fights.
Eventually, yeah, eventually. It was
and when you look at the XG lineup, they had I think, equally distributed responsibilities among the other heroes, the Curse, the Embrace, the Raw. They needed to go on SD with the Beast, and someone else has another duty, but whereas the SD had to watch so many things.
It's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure to deal with.
Do you think that was one of the biggest unravelings then, Lacoste, when we look back at that, is how much pressure it was on one support, how little the rest of the lineup could really stop that support being targeted?
They try to end the game relatively early on side of Tundra. You saw this 23-minute Blink Dagger on Lycan with the Orchid as well, because he's playing into Winter Wyvern, so you want to have something to get on top of him and try to kill him before he can get the defensive item he did. But this is not your traditional itemization on Lycan, because you want to be building into maybe your Shard, maybe AC, your auras, but it was way too difficult for them to take the fight. But once they get the items, Extreme Gaming, they managed to stabilize.
Yeah, this to me was the crucial fight for Extreme Gaming, and you mentioned the items, Lacoste. The reflected Omni Slash there, Jing Q used the Lotus Orb. Like, that was incredibly important. And then at the same time, XM is jumping the backline SD, and he has that nullifier that we talked about. So Saksa had to imprison himself, because this is the only thing that he can do that is not going to get purged by the nullifier. And if he's imprisoning himself, he can't imprison to save the reflected Omni Slash or the Roar or the Curse or all of these other things that he needs to do. So once again, like, this is just so XG, the way that they win games, is they find a way to perfectly execute a single fight, and then they turn it into an advantage for the rest of the game.
Yeah, that's what makes them a really, really tough opponent right now. It's either you beat them really hard in the lane, and then you have to also be able to execute in a team fight, which actually kind of happened this game. Tundra won the lanes, but they couldn't really, I think, control the first Roshan, which was really, really crucial. And that kind of, I think, gave Extreme Gaming the time that they needed to get back into the game.
How would you deal... Well, actually, let's talk about our standout player, because he's on our screen, right? XXX here on that Beastmaster team, because you're just like, there's no one else. I don't know, Pengo's kind of in there for discussion. XM did so well.
He's definitely in there. I mean, when you have a comeback like this, you pretty much have to shout out every player. Like we saw Jing Q had the Lotus Orb play in the most recent fight that we watched. But XXS, I feel like he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders. Like, he had the double roar. He had to go on the right targets. He picked up every Aegis. So they're saying, okay, you're going to carry the game. He was top of net worth the entire game as well. He was going for a scaling build.
I would give it to XM, because he found a new spot to be stuck in. I didn't even know that was possible. That's an ending fight where they're basically fighting 4v5.
Imagine winning a game where you get stuck